Next presentation will be made by Dace Pāže. She is a head of Department of Restoration at the Art Academy of Latvia, where she trains students in easel painting conservation and restoration. Alongside her academic role, she works as a professional art restorer, specializing in examination of paintings on canvas, wood, and other supports. And today, she will talk about monumental painting. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Greta. Hello. I would like to introduce you to the wonderful Latvian artist Kārlis Sūniņš and the techniques of his monumental paintings. Kārlis Sūniņš is known as a watercolorist and as the author of book design and illustrations. I think our Latvian colleagues surely remember some of these books from their childhood. The artist's early creative period began with his studies at the Art Academy of Latvia, where he studied in the master workshop of decorative painting and ended with the Second World War. Already during his studies, Sūniņš created large-format decorative paintings on commission in temper and mixed techniques for public buildings in Riga and elsewhere in Latvia. After the Second World War, the artist mainly worked in watercolor, and large-format decorative works became a thing of the past. Only 4 objects created by the artist have survived. All of them are the state-protected cultural monuments. The first monumental project of Kārlis Sūniņš, created while he was still a student, was the interior of the Dzintari house, which served as a meeting house for the Latvian national religion Dievturība. The idea of creating a national religion based on historical heritage and ancient traditions was discussed not only in Latvia but across Europe, especially in newly independent states. After Latvia gained independence, a group of intellectuals began reviving ancient Latvian beliefs, which led to the founding of the first Dievturi religious organization in 1926. The Dievturi house served as a cultural and religious center and was a venue for various rituals. During the interwar period, it was one of the most significant cultural centers of its kind, strengthening Latvian national self-awareness and promoting the preservation of cultural heritage. Approximately half of the Dzintari house was occupied by a sanctuary, while the other half consisted of living quarters. The walls were richly decorated with Latvian ornaments. The stairwell walls, window and door openings, furniture and even light fixtures were also adorned. In the interior, Kārlis Sūniņš depicted Latvian mythological deities of nature and the sky, including Forest Mother, Field Mother, Earth Mother, Sky Father, as well as fairy tale characters such as Antinch guarding the golden apple tree, the orphan girl, and the son of strength. Despite the changes in the use of space and adverse climatic conditions, part of the distemper paint monumental paintings and stencil decorations have survived in relatively good condition. In 2014, an investigation of the artist's decoration and the technical condition of the building was carried out. As the building is privately owned and the owners live on the second floor, access to these paintings is only partly possible. At present, fragmentary consolidation of the floors and exterior wall plasters is taking place. Once the main structures are stabilized, restoration of the interior and wooden details can be considered. This situation reveals how multi-layered the significance of cultural heritage can be. Building once created as a Dievturi temple and at the same time a family home today combines both personal and public memories. The diploma work of Sūniņš was fully realized in 1937 with the concept of a wall panel implemented on the second floor of the central staircase The panels placed on both sides of the stairs form a unified cycle of 6 paintings. The work was painted in tempera on canvas adhered to plaster. In 1990, the painting was restored and are in good condition. We first encountered this artist's monumental work in the interior of Sigulda New Castle. 2 large format paintings are located on the 2nd floor of the castle. Both panels were executed in tempera on canvas supports and adhered to the wall with a gluten-type glue. In places, the canvas supports had lost adhesion, air pockets had formed between the canvas and the wall, and deformations had also developed. It was decided to line the edges of the paintings and stretch them onto wooden stretcher frames. They were then mounted on the wall with a gap in specially made decorative frames to allow air circulation. The Sūniņš project we are currently working on consists of the panels Son of the Sun Hunting and Daughters of the Sun Swimming, created in collaboration with architect Alfreds Birkhāns and located in his privately designed house in Cēsis, a building created in the Latvian national style. 9 panels arranged around the perimeter of the room form a unified composition. Tempera on canvas glued to plaster. The artwork are in similar technical condition. The paint and ground layers are stable, but moisture stains, mold spots, scratches, abrasions, paint splashes, and layers of dirt and dust are visible. Overall, the canvas ground remains stable on the wall, except for 4 sections. Also, small areas of delamination can be seen in places. At present, 4 of the 9 panels, those most affected by moisture and partially detached from the plaster, have been removed from the wall, as the panels along the veranda walls suffered the most due to long-term exposure to moisture. After removing the 4 panels, the back of each canvas showed an adhesive layer that had previously fixed into the plaster. This layer is strongly attached to the canvas and can only be removed mechanically. As the research and restoration process is progressing very slowly, the main issue is the reattachment of the panel sections to the wall support has not yet been resolved. Tests will be carried out on lining materials and the use of suitable adhesives. There is currently no urgency, as this room will soon undergo restoration. Once the restoration is completed, the removed paintings will be able to be returned to their original place. And now a little more about the material analysis. Paint materials analysis has been carried out on these 3 panels, and a microscopic examination at 1000 magnification has been initiated to gain a deeper understanding of the artist's technique. The study of the paint materials was carried out using microscopy and stratigraphy, thermal analysis, microchemistry, X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy, and Raman spectroscopy. The examination shows that the artist painted on linen canvas, completely adhered to a specially prepared wall surface. Stratigraphic research showed that the plaster was originally covered with a leveling layer on which a relatively thick, now strongly yellowed, binder layer was applied, and then a thick yellowish white mass was applied onto which the canvas was pressed. The leveling layer contains mainly calcium carbonate. The binder used is protein-based bone glue. The thick mass associated with the canvas is particularly interesting. The basic material throughout the mass is calcium carbonate, which closer to the plaster contains a higher concentration of lead white, while the part in contact with the canvas is richer with zinc white. However, it is one layer in which the composition gradually changed during application. Oil and animal glue are identifiable as binders in the layer. In several literature sources, an adhesive compound of this composition is associated with the term maroflage, which today refers to adhering canvas to a rigid support such as wood or another material. Analysis of the painting material shows that despite the translucent effect of the painting, the artist skillfully used classical painting techniques. A very thin, almost invisible yellowish-white ground layer of chalk and animal glue, clearly visible only under microscope, is applied to the canvas on which the painting is then created. Some of the subsequent layers of paint are highly transparent, containing a small amount of pigment. Microscopic examination and pigment identification indicate that the artist both mixed some paints by hand, as shown by uneven mixtures and irregular pigment distribution, and in some cases also used ready-made commercial paints. The identification of such color components of variable composition is very well ensured by the possibility of using extremely high microscopic magnifications, as well as the possibility of using research methods such as X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy and Raman spectroscopy with classical analytical methods. At the same time, evaluating the proportions of binders chosen by the artist, which ensured durability and strong adhesion, demonstrates his high level of craftsmanship and understanding of material compatibility. The early monumental works of Kārlis Sūniņš are an important part of Latvia's interwar cultural heritage, vividly reflecting the ideas of national romanticism and Latvian identity. Each of these objects is unique, and each requires a different restoration methodology. For the first time, it has been possible to study the painting techniques and materials used by Kārlis Sūniņš using modern research methods combined with classical analytical chemistry. This made it possible to determine that the canvases were attached to the wall using the maroflage technique, so that the painting retains a classical layered structure with both ground and paint layer, despite their extreme thinness and transparency, and that both artist-prepared and industrially produced paints were used, allowing the identification of pigments and binders. Finally, we would like to express our sincere thanks to our supporters and many thanks to the organizers for the opportunity to participate in this conference. And by the way, in this photography, the artist Kārlis Sūniņš, as a student, is seen in front of the Art Academy of Latvia. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Tatja. It was very interesting. Do we have questions? Yes, I can see a hand up there.
Thank you, Dace. I think you mentioned the thermography examination. Did I miss the slide about thermography, or was it something about it in there? Thermography.
I will ask, I will reply to questions about materials and research. If about the thermography, then in this case it means more thermal analysis. Simply burning of pigments where we check the changes of color of materials following the change of chemical.
Okay. I thought it was something about imaging and stuff. No, thank you.
Welcome.
More questions? I will ask then one. Are these all his work like this, or is there more like this? Do you know? Like you presented several pieces, yeah?
Yeah, these 4 are from Sūniņš.
Yes, but from him, yeah. I
Yes,
mean,
and that's all from him.
that's all from him?
From Monumental cases.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have found all, or there might be surprises somewhere hidden, because they were often in private homes, as I noticed.
Yeah. One is from private house.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
That's it. Yeah.